Act One of Why Marry. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Why Marry by Jesse Lynch Williams. Act One. Up from the fragrant garden comes a girl, running. She takes the broad terrace steps two at a stride, laughing, breathless, fleet as a fawn, sweet as a rose. She is hotly pursued by a boy, handsome, ardent, attractively selfish, and just now blindly determined to catch the pretty creature before she gains the protecting shelter of home. She is determined to let him, but not to let him know it. There, she might have darted in through the open door, but it is such a cold, formal entrance. She pretends to be exhausted, dodges behind a stone tea-table, and turning, faces him, each panting and laughing excitedly, she alluring and defiant, he merry and dominant. She is 25, and he is a year or two older, but they are both children. In other words, unmarried. Rex.
Think I'll let you say that to me?
Jean, making a face at him.
Think I'm afraid of you?
Take it back, I tell you.
I won't.
I'll make you.
With a dance step.
Think so, do you?
I warn you.
Boo-woo.
He makes a feint to the right, then dashes to the left and catches her. Triumphantly.
Now, you would you?
Struggling.
Let me go.
I couldn't think of it.
Seizes his hands to free herself. Can't.
You're so strong, it isn't fair.
You're so sweet, it isn't fair.
Smiling down at her struggles, rejoicing in his strength, her weakness, he gently draws her near. Knows what is coming.
No, Rex.
Yes.
You mustn't.
But I will.
He laughs and kisses her lightly on the cheek. Therefore she struggles furiously. Therefore he does it again. And again. Suddenly he enfolds her completely and kisses her passionately, cheeks, mouth, eyes, until she gasps in alarm. Laughter has gone from them now.
Oh, please, someone will come.
With the intoxication of such moments.
I don't care who comes. I love you.
No, let me go.
Not till you kiss me, Jean.
Jean hesitates, brushes his cheek lightly with her lips, and in pretty confusion tries to escape.
Not till you say you love me, Jean.
Eyes hidden in his coat, she bobs her head. He laughs and loves it.
Say it.
Do.
Do what? Say it.
She cannot. He swings her about, bringing her face close to his.
I love you, Rex. Are you sure you love me?
Am I sure? You irresistible little...
Begins to kiss her. Masculine triumph.
And want to marry me, Rex?
Why...
Stops, startled. Had not thought of that.
Of course. What did you suppose?
Drops his eyes, sobered. Feminine triumph.
And me a penniless orphan?
Fascinated by the way she says it, he laughs. Then his honor touched.
Why, what kind of man do you take me for?
And wants her lips again. Giving herself to him, head sinks upon his shoulder.
Then, oh, Rex, love me and be nice to me and take me away from all this.
She covers her face with her hands and sobs. He pats her tenderly, with a manly look on his face. Lucy comes up from the garden. She is dressed in white, with a garden hat, a garden basket filled with flowers in one hand, long scissors in the other. She is John's wife, the mistress of the house, sister-in-law to Jean. Conspicuously a sweet woman, affectedly so, a contrast with Jean's more modern, less delicate charm. Jean is frank and brave, Lucy indirect and timid, pretty but fading, 40 but fighting it.
It's all right, Lucy. We're engaged.
Well, I should hope so.
Shoots a look at Jean. So? Recovering himself.
I have often tried to thank you and good old John for letting me come over here so much, but now, how can I ever thank you? See what I mean?
I'll tell you how. Behave yourself after you're married to John's little sister.
Rex, have you had a fearful past? How fascinating.
I'm going to have a glorious future, all right.
Not unless you do as I tell you. Going to obey me, Rex?
You bet I am.
Then begin now. Go, get out.
She pushes Rex, laughing and protesting, toward the garden.
I want to tell Lucy how nice you are. Run along over to the golf club, and by, if you are a good boy, you can take me out in your new car.
Rex kisses the hand on his arm and leaves, laughing.
My dear, he has 5 cars. Thank you so much.
Alone, they throw off the mask worn before men.
Now, dearie, tell me all about it. How did it happen?
Oh, I simply followed your advice.
Picked a quarrel with him?
Yes, I pretended to believe in woman suffrage.
Good. They hate that.
I told him all men were bullying brutes.
They are. And then you ran away?
Of course.
And he after you?
Of course.
And you let him catch you?
Of course. Well, he caught me.
They both laugh.
I can guess the rest.
Why, it didn't take 5 minutes.
And now it's to last through all eternity. Isn't love wonderful?
Wonderful.
They begin to cull out the flowers.
But you do love him, dear, don't you?
Arranging flowers.
I did then. I don't now. Why is that, Lucy?
Oh, but you will learn to love him.
Jean shrugs, drops flowers, and turns away.
Now, no worrying, it brings wrinkles.
Patting Jean's shoulder.
Rex is just the sort to give the woman he adores everything in the world.
Wriggling out of Lucy's embrace.
I am not the woman he adores.
Why, Jean, he's engaged to you.
But he's in love with my sister. You know that as well as I do.
Uncomfortably.
Oh, well, he was once, but not now. Men admire these independent women, but they don't marry them. Nobody wants to marry a sexless freak with a scientific degree.
Oh, what's the use, Lucy? He's still wild about Helen, and she still laughs at him. So you and John have trotted out the little sister. Why not be honest about it?
Well, I may be old-fashioned, but I don't think it's nice to talk this way when you're just engaged.
Here comes your sexless freak. Not with a degree, either.
Following Jean's gaze.
With a man.
Smiling.
With my man.
Helen, with Rex bending toward her eagerly, appears. She is a beautiful woman of 29, tall, strong, glorious, plenty of old-fashioned charm, despite her new-fashioned ideas. She is dressed in a tennis costume, and is swinging a racket.
But they told me you were going to stay abroad all winter.
My work, Rex. I had to get back to work.
Work? You're too good to work.
Amused, not jealous.
Is this your high-powered car, Rex? Have you learned to run it yet?
But, well, you see, I met Helen on the way. See what I mean?
Oh, we see.
But I hadn't seen her for so long. I thought...
Looks from Helen to Jean.
Wait, I'll get the car.
He hurries off. To Jean.
Why couldn't she have stayed abroad?
Helen, don't talk about your work before Lucy. It shocks her.
Oh, very well. Make it my career.
Arm around Helen.
Shh, that's worse.
Helen, dear, I deem it my duty to tell you that you are being talked about.
Lucy, dear, do you always find your true happiness in duty?
Well, if you think you're going back to that horrid place again, after what happened that night, John won't hear of it.
If the Baker Institute of Medical Experiment is not a respectable place, you should make John resign as trustee.
She laughs it off.
John is trustee of, nearly everything. That makes it all the worse. It isn't as if you had to work.
Oh, but John is so rich now, his credit can stand it. And you oughtn't to mind. Why, some of our most fashionable families now contain freaks like me. It's becoming quite smart, just as in former days one of the sons would go into the church or the navy.
Well, of course I am old-fashioned, but going downtown every day with the men, it seems so unwomanly.
But wasn't I womanly for years? Instead of going downtown and working with highbrows, I stayed uptown and played with lowbrows, until I was bored to death.
Sighs.
Yes, that's what comes of going to college, leaving the home, getting these new ideas. All the same, Helen, the men, really nice men, don't like it.
Well, you see, I don't like really nice men, so that makes it agreeable all around.
If it were only art, or music, or something feminine, but that awful laboratory, how can a lady poison poor innocent little monkeys?
If I were a lady, I'd dine with monkeys. Do you know what the word means, Lucy? In Anglo-Saxon times, lady meant one who gives loaves, now one who takes a loaf.
Very clever, my dear, but some day you'll be sorry. No man, Helen, likes a woman to have independent views.
Helen can afford to have independent views. She has an independent income. She earns it.
Independent income? Her salary wouldn't pay for your hats.
All the same, I wish I had gone to college. I wish I had learned a profession.
What have these new women accomplished? Just one thing. They are destroying chivalry.
Not entirely, Lucy, not entirely. For instance, I am the best assistant Ernest Hamilton has, but the worst paid. The others are all men. Hooray for chivalry!
Well, I'm just an old-fashioned wife. Woman's sphere's in the home. My husband says so.
But suppose you haven't any husband. What can a spinster do in the home?
Stay in it till she gets one. That's what the old-fashioned spinsters used to do.
The old-fashioned spinster used to spin.
At any rate, the old-fashioned spinster did not stay out of her home all night and get herself compromised, talked about, sent abroad. Or if she did, she knew enough to remain abroad until the gossip blew over.
Lucy turns to leave. Mischievously.
Ah, that wonderful night.
Lucy turns back, amazed.
The night we discovered the Hamilton antitoxin. The night that made the Baker Institute famous. And just think, I had a hand in it, Lucy, a hand in the unwomanly work of saving children's lives. But of course, an old-fashioned spinster would have blushed and said, "Excuse me, Dr. Hamilton, but we must now let a year's work go to waste, because you are a man, and I am a woman, and it's dark outdoors." That's the way to preserve true chivalry.
You think we can't see through all this? Science. Fiddlesticks. The good-looking young scientist. That's why you couldn't stay abroad. We see it. John sees it. And now everyone will see it. Then how will you feel?
Ernest is rather good-looking, isn't he?
Do you think your brother will let you marry a mere scientist? Oh, well. Dr. Hamilton is in love with his work. Fortunately. Besides, he's a thoroughbred. He wouldn't even look at a girl who throws herself at his head.
So I needn't try any longer? Too bad.
Losing her temper and going.
Oh, you new women are quite superior, aren't you? Thank heavens, little Jean didn't elbow her way into men's affairs. She had no unwomanly ambitions for a career, but she is engaged to Rex Baker.
Jean, is this true?
Triumphantly.
Marriage is woman's only true career.
Jean, you can't, you won't, you mustn't marry Rex.
Flouncing out.
She who will not when she may, my dear.
Lucy hears John coming.
Avoiding Helen's eyes.
He'd take her head off if she weren't there to meet him.
Helen only looks at her.
He bullies and browbeats her worse than ever. I can't stand it here much longer. It's getting on my nerves.
Jean, you care for Rex no more than I do.
Still evasive.
John's bringing out Uncle Everett and Cousin Theodore. My dear, the whole family is up in the air about you.
Oh, I can take care of myself, but you... Jean, you're not the sort to marry Rex or any other man unless you simply can't live without him.
After a little pause.
Well, how can I live without him? Without some man? You can support yourself. I can't.
But you wouldn't live on a man you didn't really love.
Why not? Lucy does. Most wives live on men they don't really love. To stop doing so and get divorced is wrong, you know.
Jean, poor little Jean.
Well, I'd rather have domestic unhappiness of my own than watch other people's all my life.
I don't like to hurt you, dear, but...
Takes Jean's face and raises it.
How about that nice boy at the Harvard Law School?
Don't.
Controls herself, then, in a low voice.
Bob is still at the law school, Helen.
Can't you wait, dear?
He never asked me to, Helen.
He would if you let him.
It wouldn't be fair. It takes so long to get started. Everything costs so much. Why, nowadays, men in the professions, unless they have private means, can't marry until nearly 40. When Bob is 40, I'll be 40, Helen.
Ah, but when a girl really cares...
Helen, do you know?
Never mind about me. You.
Oh, we'll get over it, I suppose. People do. Some day, perhaps he'll smile and say, Just think, I once loved that fat old thing.
Suddenly changes to sobbing.
Helen, when Rex caught me and kissed me, I shut my eyes and tried to think it was Bob.
Takes Jean in her arms.
You can't keep on thinking so, dear.
But that isn't the worst. When he held me fast and I couldn't get away, I began to forget Bob, to forget everything.
Breaks off, overcome with shame.
But not now, not now. It's not the same thing at all.
Buries face in Helen's breast and sobs it out.
Oh, I feel like the devil, dear. And all this time he doesn't really want me. He wants you, you. I trapped him into it. I trapped him.
And I know Rex. He's a good sport. He'll stick to it if you do, dear. Only you won't. You've caught him by playing on his worst. Don't hold him by playing on his best.
But what shall I do? I'm nearly 26. I've got to escape from home in some way.
But what a way!
Rex returns.
Ready, Jean?
To Helen.
Lucy and John and your cousin Theodore are in there having a fine old-fashioned family fight with the judge.
With Uncle Everett? What about?
They shut up when they saw me. All I heard was the parson. Marriage is a social institution. Grand old row, though.
A butler and footman appear, wheeling a tea-wagon.
Looks as if they were coming out here.
Then I am going in.
Detaining Jean.
You will follow my advice.
Apart to Helen.
Oh, I don't know. Soon or late I must follow the only profession I have learned.
Jean leaves with Rex. Helen watches them, sighs, and goes in. The servants arrange the tea-table and go into the house. Lucy comes out, followed by her husband John, and the judge, who is Uncle Everett, and cousin Theodore. John, the masterful type of successful American business-man, well set up, close-cropped moustache, inclined to baldness, keen eye, vibrant voice, quick movements, quick decisions, quick temper. Uncle Everett is a genial satirist with a cynical tolerance of the ways of the world, which he understands, laughs at, and rather likes. Cousin Theodore, a careworn rector, who, though he buttons his collar behind, likes those who don't, a noble soul, self-sacrificing and sanctified, but he does not obtrude his profession upon others, never talks shop unless asked to do so, and prides himself upon not being a bigot. They are continuing an earnest discussion, with the intimate manner of friendly members of the same family. John, Lucy, and Theodore deeply concerned, Uncle Everett detached and amused.
But, Uncle Everett, hasn't Aunt Julia always been a good wife to you?
Quite so, quite so. A good wife, Theodore, a good wife.
And a devoted mother to your children, Uncle Everett.
Devoted, Lucy, devoted.
She has always obeyed you, Uncle Everett.
Yes, John, a true old-fashioned woman.
She has been a great help to me in the parish work, Uncle Everett.
An earnest worker in the vineyard, Theodore. In fact, I might say, a model female.
Then why do you want a divorce?
Because, damn it, I don't like her.
But think of poor Aunt Julia.
But, damn it, she doesn't like me.
Wagging head sadly.
Ah, yes, I suppose there has been fault on both sides.
Not at all. No fault on either side. Both patterns of Christian fortitude to the end. We still are. Just listen to this telegram.
Puzzled.
From Aunt Julia?
Yes, from Aunt Julia in Reno. Not used to travelling much without me. Knew I'd worry. Thoughtful of her, wasn't it?
Puts on glasses.
A night letter. Much cheaper. Your Aunt Julia was always a frugal wife. Besides, she never could keep within 10 words.
Reads.
Arrived safely. Charming rooms with plenty of air and sunlight. Our case docketed for March 15th. Wish you were here to see the women in Divorcee Row, overdressed and underbred. Rather neat, eh? Overdressed and underbred. I should love to hear your comments on the various types. Now isn't that sweet of her? Well, you know, I always could make her laugh, except when I made her cry. Write soon. With love, Julia. Now,
folds telegram.
isn't that a nice message? From a wife suing for divorce? You happily married people couldn't beat that.
Pats telegram and pockets it tenderly. John, like a practical businessman.
But if there's no other woman, no other man, what's it all about?
She likes her beefsteak well done. I like mine underdone. She likes one window open, about so much.
Indicates 4 inches.
I like all the windows open wide. She likes to stay at home. I like to travel. She loves the opera and hates the theatre. I love the theatre and hate the opera.
Stop. Aren't you willing to make a few little sacrifices for each other? Haven't you character enough for that?
We've been making sacrifices for 25 years, a quarter of a century. Character enough to last us now. Why, I remember the first dinner we had together after we were pronounced man and wife, with a full choral service and a great many expensive flowers. Quite a smart wedding, Lucy, for those simple days. Darling, I asked my blushing bride, do you like tutti-frutti ice cream? I adore it, dearest, she murmured. I hated it, but nobly sacrificed myself and gave her tutti-frutti and gained character every evening of our honeymoon. Then, when we got back and began our new life together in our little home, my darling gave me tutti-frutti and indigestion once a week, until I nearly died.
But why didn't you tell her?
I did. Got chronic dyspepsia and struck. You may adore this stuff, darling, I said, but I hate it. So do I, dearest, says she. Then why in thunder have you had it all these years, sweetheart? For your sake, beloved. And that tells the whole story of our married life. We have nothing in common but a love of divorce and a mutual abhorrence of tutti-frutti. 2 souls with but a single thought, 2 hearts that beat as one. It has been the dream of our lives to get apart, and each has nobly refrained for the other's sake. And all in vain.
Bah! All a cloak to hide his real motive, and he knows it.
After a painful pause.
I may as well confess.
Looks around to see if overheard. Whispers.
For over 20 years I have broken my marriage vow.
Lucy drops her eyes. Theodore aghast. John wags head.
So has your Aunt Julia.
No, not that.
Well, we solemnly promised to love each other until death did us part. We have broken that sacred vow. I don't love her. She doesn't love me. Not in the least.
Rot. A matured, middle-aged man, a distinguished member of the bar, break up his home for that? Damned rot.
Right again, John. That's not why I'm breaking up my home. I prefer my club. What does the modern home amount to? Merely a place to leave your wife.
Of course. It doesn't matter about the poor little wife left at home.
Wrong, Lucy. It does matter. That's why I stayed at home and was bored to death with her prattle about clothes and the opera, instead of dining at the club with my intellectual equals, picking up business there, getting rich like John, supplying her with more clothes and a whole box at the opera, like yours, Lucy.
Shoots a glance at her husband.
Oh, that's the way you men always talk. It never occurs to you that business is just as much of a bore to us.
Wrong again. It did occur to me, hence the divorce. She couldn't stand seeing me bored. I couldn't stand seeing her bored. Once we could deceive each other, but now, too well acquainted, our happy home a hollow mockery.
You ought to be ashamed. I love my home.
So do I.
He glances sternly at Lucy. Nervously.
So do I.
All right. Stick to it if you love it. Only don't claim credit for doing what you enjoy. I stuck to my home for a quarter of a century and disliked it the whole time. At last I'm free to say so, Just think of it, Lucy, free to utter those things about marriage we all know are true, but don't dare say. Free to be honest, John. No longer a hypocrite, no longer a liar. A soul set free, Theodore. Two souls, in fact. Two souls with but a single thought.
Stop. You have children to consider, not merely your own selfish happiness.
Yes, think of Tom and little Julia.
We did, for a quarter of a century. Sacrificed everything to them, even our self-respect. But now, what's the use? We are childless now. Tom and Julia have both left us for little homes of their own to love.
Ah, but don't you want them to have the old home to come back to?
No place like home for children, eh? You're right. Can't have too much of it. Most children only have one home. Ours will have two. When they get bored with one, they can try the other.
But seriously, Uncle Everett, whom God hath joined together.
Clasping John's arm.
Yes, Uncle Everett, marriages are made in heaven.
I see. Quite so. But your Aunt Julia and I were joined together by a pink parasol made in Paris.
What rot! Stop your fooling and speak the truth, man.
Just what I'm doing. That's why you think I'm fooling. A very pretty parasol, but it wasn't made in heaven. You see, God made poor dear Julia pale, but on that fatal day, 25 years ago, the pink parasol, not God, made her rosy and irresistible. I did the rest, with the aid of a clergyman, whom I tipped even more liberally than the waiter who served us tutti frutti. Blame me for it, blame her, the parasol, the parson, but do not, my dear Theodore, blame the Deity for our own mistakes. It's so blasphemous.
A pause. Lucy takes place at the tea-table to serve tea.
And to think we invited you, of all people here today, of all days.
To John.
We mustn't let Rex know. The Bakers don't believe in divorce.
What's this? You don't mean that Jean...
Yes, just in time, before he knew Helen was back.
She's landed him.
Jumps up.
She's landed him! We're marrying into the Baker family! The Baker family!
Shaking hands right and left.
Why, she'll have more money than any of us. Well, well, we'll all have to stand around before little Jean now. My, Lucy, you're a wonder. Those pearls, I'll buy them. They're yours. Hooray for Lucy!
Kisses Lucy. Feeling her importance.
Now if I could only get Helen out of this awful mess and safely married to some nice man.
Sipping his tea.
Meaning one having money.
The Hamiltons are an older family than the Bakers, Lucy, older than our own.
Meaning they once had money.
Still pacing to and fro.
Waste a beauty on a bacteriologist? A crime!
See here, John, Ernest Hamilton is the biggest thing you've got in the Baker Institute. One of the loveliest fellows in the world, too. And if you expect me, why did you ask us here, anyway?
Far as I can make out, we're here to help one of John's sisters marry a man she doesn't love, and prevent the other from marrying the man she does.
Oh, look here. I've nothing against young Hamilton. I like him, proud of all he's done for the Institute. Why, Mr. Baker is tickled to death about the Hamilton antioxidant. But Theodore, this is a practical world. Your scientific friend gets just $2,000 a year. Lucy, send for Helen.
Lucy goes obediently.
Well, why not give the young man a raise?
Oh, that's not a bad salary for scientists, college professors, and that sort of thing. Why, even the head of the Institute himself gets less than the superintendent of my mills. No future in science.
Perfectly practical, Theodore. The superintendent of John's mills saves the company thousands of dollars. These bacteriologists merely save the nation thousands of babies. All our laws, written and unwritten, value private property above human life. I'm a distinguished jurist, and I always render my decisions accordingly. I'd be reversed by the United States Supreme Court if I didn't. We're all rewarded in inverse ratio to our usefulness to society, Theodore. That's why practical men think changes are dangerous.
Muckraker!
It's all on a sliding scale, John. For keeping up the cost of living, you and old man Baker get...
Stretches arms out full length.
Heaven only knows how much. For saving the Constitution, I get... a good deal.
Hands 3 feet apart.
For saving in wages and operating expenses, your superintendent gets so much.
Hands 2 feet apart.
For saving human life, Ernest Hamilton gets that.
Hands 6 inches apart.
For saving immortal souls, Theodore gets...
Holds up 2 forefingers an inch apart.
Now, if anyone came along and saved the world...
They crucified him.
Muckraker! Muckraker!
Lucy returning.
Tried my best, John, but Helen says she prefers to talk with you alone sometime.
Furious.
She prefers? See here! Am I master in my own house or not?
But Helen is a guest in it now, no longer under your control, John. She's the new woman.
John, you can't stop that girl's marrying Ernest, if she wants to. He's head over heels in love with her.
What? We thought he was in love with his work.
He thinks there's no hope for him, poor boy.
To John.
And she's mad about him.
To Lucy.
And he is on the way out here now.
What? He's coming to see her?
No. Thinks she's still in Paris. So she was when I invited him, damn it. But something had to be done, and done delicately. That's why I invited you two.
Beautiful. These lovers haven't met for a month, and tonight there's a moon.
You may as well give in, John. It's the simplest solution.
Timidly.
Yes, John. She's nearly 30, and think how she treats all the nice men.
Who's doing this? You go tell Helen that her Uncle Everett wants to see her.
Lucy shrugs, starts reluctantly, and lingers listening.
Now, Uncle, you have more influence over her than any of us. Don't let her know about Aunt Julia. Helen thinks the world of you.
Of course not. Never let the rising generation suspect the truth about marriage, if you want 'em to marry.
There are other truths than unpleasant truths, Uncle Everett. Other marriages than unhappy marriages.
Want me to tell her the truth about your marriage?
At the door.
Why, Uncle, even you must admit that Theodore and Mary are happy.
John is too much surprised to notice Lucy's presence.
Happy? What's that got to do with it? Marriage is a social institution. Theodore said so. Every time a boy kisses a girl, she should first inquire, "A sacrifice for society?" And if he says, "I want to gain character, sweetheart," then, "Darling, do your duty." And he'll do it.
Well, Theodore has certainly done his duty by society. 6 children.
Then society hasn't done its duty by Theodore. Only one salary.
The more credit to him. He and Mary have sacrificed everything to their children and the church, even health.
We don't need your pity. We don't want your praise. Poverty, suffering, even separation have only drawn us closer together. We love each other through it all. Why, in the last letter the doctor let her write, she said...
Suddenly overcome with emotion, turns abruptly.
If you'll excuse me, Lucy. Sanitarium. The telephone.
Theodore goes into the house.
Not praise or pity, but something more substantial, and, by George, I'll get it for them.
Turns to John, who interrupts.
See the example he sets to society? I honor him for it.
Fine, but that doesn't seem to restore Mary's radiant health, Theodore's brilliant youth.
Ah, but they have their children. Think how they adore those beautiful children.
No, don't think how they adore them. Think how they rear those beautiful children. In the streets. One little daughter dead from contagion, one son going to the devil from other things picked up in the street. If marriage is a social institution, look at it socially. Why, a marriage like mine is worth a dozen like theirs, to society. Look at my well-launched children. Look at my useful career as a jackal to big business. Look at my now perfectly contented spouse.
But if you are divorced...
Is the object of marriage merely to stay married?
But character, Think of the character they have gained.
Or is it to gain character at the expense of helpless offspring? Society doesn't gain by that. It loses, Lucy, it loses. But simply because, God bless 'em, they love each other through it all. You sentimental stand-patters believe in lying about it, do you?
Oh, talk, talk, talk.
Bored, whips out pocket checkbook and fountain pen.
Money talks for me. But they're both so confoundedly proud.
Go on, write that cheque.
John writes.
They must sacrifice their pride, John. Nothing else left to sacrifice, I'm afraid.
Well, you get this to them somehow.
Hands cheque to judge.
Aha! Talk did it. 5,000? Generous, John.
Impatiently.
Never mind about me. That problem is all settled. Now about Helen. Lucy! I thought I told you!
Lucy, in a guilty hurry, escapes into the house.
John, charity never settles problems, it perpetuates them. You can't cure social defects by individual treatment.
More impatiently.
Does talk settle anything?
Everything. We may even settle the marriage problem if we talk honestly.
Theodore returns from telephoning to the sanitarium.
Theodore, it's all right. John honestly believes in setting an example to society. Crazy to have his sisters go and do likewise.
Splendid, John. I knew you'd see it. An ideal match.
Overriding John.
Right, Theodore, ideal. This scientific suitor will shower everything upon her John honours and admires. A host of servants, sacrifices. Carriages and motors, character and morals. Just what her brother advocates in Sunday school. For others. An ideal marriage.
Hands in pockets.
You think you're awfully funny, don't you? I do more for the church, for education, art, science, than all the rest of the family combined. Incidentally, I'm not divorced. But this is a practical world, Theodore. I've got to protect my own.
Returning.
Helen will be here in a minute.
Suddenly getting an idea.
Ah, I have it. I know how to keep them apart.
Be careful, John. These two love each other.
Yes, young people still fall in love. Whether we make it hard or easy for them, they will do it. But, mark my words, unless we reform marriage, there is going to be a sympathetic strike against it, as there is already against having children. Instead of making it harder to get apart, we've got to make it easier to stay together. Otherwise the ancient bluff will soon be called.
Shh! Here she comes.
Please don't talk this way before her.
All right, I'm not divorced yet. Still in the conspiracy of silence.
Helen appears at the door. A sudden silence. Kissing Theodore and Judge affectionately.
I'm so sorry to hear about dear Mary.
To Judge.
But why didn't Aunt Julia come? Is she ill too?
Slight panic in the family party.
She's gone to Rio Janeiro. To Santa Barbara. Wants a complete change. The rest cure.
To Theodore, apart.
Lie number 1.
Another silence. Lucy makes tea for Helen. Taking the cup.
Well, go on.
Go on with what?
Stirring tea.
Your discussion of marriage.
How did you know?
Oh, it's in the air. Everybody's talking about it nowadays.
She sips tea and the others look conscious.
My dear, marriage is woman's only true career.
Raising her shield of flippancy.
So Lucy tells me, Cousin Theodore. But a woman cannot pursue her career. She must be pursued by it. Otherwise she's unwomanly.
As we passed through the library a while ago, I think I saw your little sister being pursued by her career.
Yes, uncle, but Jean is a true woman. I'm only a new woman.
All the same, you'll be an old woman some day, if you don't watch out.
Ah, yes, my life's a failure. I haven't trapped a man into a contract to support me.
You ought to be ashamed.
Picks up knitting bag and does her best to look like just an old-fashioned wife.
Making marriage so mercenary. Helen, dear, haven't you new women any sentiment?
Enough sentiment not to make a mercenary marriage, Lucy, dear.
And what kind of marriage do you expect to make?
Not any, thank you, uncle.
What? You don't believe in holy matrimony?
Only as a last extremity, uncle, like unholy divorce.
Jumps.
What do you know about that?
I know all about it.
Others jump.
I have been reading up on the subject.
All relax, relieved, but now gather about the young woman.
Simply because
one
many young
marriage
people
in
rush into
1,000
marriage
ends
without
in
thinking.
divorce. Wait, 1 in 1,000? Dear me, what an idealist you are, John. In America, 1 marriage in every 11 now ends in divorce. And yet you wonder why I hesitate.
1 in 11? Rot!
To judge.
All this muckraking should be suppressed by the government. 1 in 11. Bah!
Demurely.
The government's own statistics, John.
They all turn to the judge for denial, but he nods confirmation, with a complacent smile, murmuring, "Two souls with but a single thought,"
Well, I may be old-fashioned,
sweetly knitting.
but it seems to me that nice girls shouldn't think of such things. Their husbands will tell them all they ought to know about marriage after they're married.
Ah, I see. Nice girls mustn't think until after they rush in, but they mustn't rush in until after they think. You married people make it all so simple for us.
Right. The way to cure all evil is for nice people to close their minds and mouths to it. It's unpleasant for a pure mind, and it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So there you are, my dear.
Oh, talk, talk, talk. I've had enough. See here, young lady. I offered to pay all your expenses abroad for a year. You didn't seem to appreciate it. Well, the trustees of the Institute are now to give Dr. Hamilton a year abroad. How do you like that?
All turn and look at Helen.
Splendid, just what he needs. Dr. Metchnikoff told me in Paris that America always killed its big men with routine. When do we start?
She tries to look very businesslike,
We?
springing to his feet.
Do you think you were going?
Of course. I'm his assistant, quite indispensable to him.
To all,
Oh, well, if you don't believe me, ask him.
pacing to and fro.
What next? Paris? Alone with a man? Here's where I call a halt.
But if my work calls me, I don't really see what you have to say about it, John.
Better not defy me, Helen.
He scowls.
Better not bully me, John.
She smiles.
I am your brother.
But not my owner.
Then, instead of defiance, she turns with animated interest to the others.
You know, all women used to be owned by men. Formerly they ruled us by physical force, now by financial force. But at last they are to lose even that hold upon us. Poor dears.
Pats John's shoulder playfully. Amused but serious.
That's all right in theory. But this is a practical world. My pool got you into the Institute. My pool can get you out. You give up this wild idea or give up your job.
What did I tell you? Financial force. They still try it, you see.
To John.
What if I refuse to give up either, John?
Then, as a trustee of the Institute, I ask for your resignation. Right here and now.
Turns away.
I guess that will hold her at home a while.
I simply must go to Paris now. I've nothing else to do.
With a confident smile.
You will, eh? Who'll pay her expenses this time?
Dr. Hamilton.
Helen, please. You oughtn't to say such things, even in joke.
He'll take me along as his private secretary if I ask him.
A pause. The others look at one another helplessly.
John, she's got you. You might as well quit.
Nonsense. I have just begun. You'll see.
If you're so independent, my dear, why don't you marry your scientist and be done with it?
Helen resents the intrusion, but hides her feelings.
Can you keep a secret?
They all seem to think they can, and gather near.
He has never asked me.
The family seems annoyed.
No wonder, dear.
With matchmaking ardor.
He has never seen you except in that awful apron. But those stunning dinner gowns John bought you in Paris, my dear, in evening dress you are quite irresistible.
Apart to Theodore.
Irresistible? Pink parasols. What a system!
But you see, I don't want him to ask me. I've had all I could do to keep him from it.
The family seems perplexed.
She's got some sense left.
But suppose he did ask you, dear?
Why, I'd simply refer the matter to John, of course. If John said, love him, I'd love him. If John said, don't love him, I'd turn it off like electric light.
The family is becoming exasperated, insinuating.
Oh, you can't deceive us. We know how much you admire him, Helen.
Oh, no, you don't.
The family is amazed.
Not even he does. Did you ever hear how he risked his life in battle down in Cuba? Why, he's a perfect hero of romance.
Never even saw a war, molly-coddled germ killer.
Not in the war with Spain. The war against yellow fever, John. No drums to make him brave, no correspondence to make him famous. He merely rolled up his sleeve and let an innocent-looking mosquito bite him, then took notes on his symptoms till he became delirious. He happened to be among those who recovered.
The family is impressed.
Old-fashioned maidens used to marry their heroes, Helen.
Arising briskly.
But this new-fashioned hero gets only $2,000 a year, Theodore.
She turns to escape. Nodding.
I told you she had sense.
Helen, you selfish too. Why, Mary and I married on half that, didn't we, John?
He looks around. The family looks away.
Dr. Hamilton needs every cent of that enormous salary. Books, travel, scientific conferences, all the advantages he simply must have if he's to keep at the top and do his best work for the world. The most selfish thing a girl can do is to marry a poor man.
With that she hurries up the steps. Following her.
All the same, deep down under it all, she has a true woman's yearning for a home to care for and a mate to love.
She is silently crying.
Why, Helen, dear, what's the matter?
Hiding her emotion.
Oh, why can't they leave me alone? They make what ought to be the holiest and most beautiful thing in life the most horrible and dishonest. They make me hate marriage. Hate it.
Unseen by Helen, the butler steps out. Theodore, patting her shoulder.
Just you wait till the right one comes along.
Butler, to Lucy.
Dr. Hamilton has come, ma'am.
Good heavens!
Runs to the family.
Show Dr. Hamilton out.
The butler goes.
A plot to entrap him.
Running to and fro wildly.
But it's no use. I'm going. Until he's gone.
Helen runs into the garden.
Fighting hard, poor child.
But what'll we do?
Don't worry. She can't stay away. The sweet thing.
Now listen, we must all jolly him up. He'll be shy in these surroundings.
Going to surrender, John?
What I am going to do requires finesse.
In a flutter, seeing Hamilton approach.
Oh dear, how does one talk to highbrows?
Talk to him about himself. Highbrows, lowbrows, all men love it.
Ernest Hamilton, discoverer of the Hamilton antitoxin, is a fine-looking fellow of about 35, without the spectacles or absent-mindedness somehow expected of scientific genius. He talks little but very rapidly, and sees everything. It does not occur to him to be shy or embarrassed in these surroundings, not because he is habituated to so much luxury, on 3,000 a year, nor because he despises it. He likes it, but he likes other things even more. That is why he works for 2,000 a year, instead of working for fashionable fees in private practice. John meets his distinguished guest at the door, effusively, yet with that smiling condescension which wealthy trustees sometimes show to scientists, college professors, and that sort of thing.
Ah, Dr. Hamilton, delighted to see you on my little farm at last. Out here I'm just a plain old-fashioned farmer.
Ernest glances about at the magnificence and smiles imperceptibly. He makes no audible replies to the glad welcome, but bows urbanely, master of himself and the situation.
Dr. Hamilton, so good of you to come.
How are you, Ernest? Glad to see you.
I don't think you've met our uncle, Judge Grey?
Humorously adopting their manner.
Charmed. I've heard so much about you from my niece.
To Ernest's rescue, like a tactful hostess.
A cup of tea, Dr. Hamilton?
Unperturbed by the reference to Helen.
Thanks.
While Lucy makes tea, trustee manner.
I have often desired to express my admiration of your heroism in the war against yellow fever in Cuba, when you let an innocent-looking mosquito bite you.
And then took notes on your symptoms till you became delirious.
Nodding and poising sugar tongs.
No sugar, thanks.
He looks from one to another with considerable interest.
No drums to make you famous, no war correspondence to make you brave. I mean the other way round.
To Lucy, poising cream pitcher.
No cream, please.
Senator Root says this one triumph alone saves $20 million a year to the business interest of the United States. I call that true patriotism.
With a nod of assent to Lucy.
Lemon.
With sincerity.
General Wood says it saves more human lives a year than were lost in the whole Spanish War. I call it service.
Colonel Goethals says the Panama Canal could not have been built if it hadn't been for you self-sacrificing scientists. Not only that, but you have abolished forever from the United States a scourge which for more than a century had through periodic outbreaks spread terror, devastation, and death.
A pause. Bored, but trying to hide it.
The ones who deserve your praise are the 4 who died to prove that theory.
He smiles.
Of course, you all know their names.
He looks at John, who looks at Judge, who looks at Lucy, who looks at Theodore. He takes up his cup.
Delicious tea.
Ah, but they didn't do it for fame, for money. That's the beauty of the sacrifice.
With a smile.
Quite so. That's what Congress told us when we suggested a pension for the widow of the first victim.
What? Did Congress refuse the pension?
Finishes his tea.
They finally voted the sum of $17 a month for the widow, and no less than $2 a month extra for each of his children.
Is that all?
No. We pestered Congress to death until, a few years ago, they replaced the pension with an annuity of $125 a month, though some of them said it was a very bad precedent to establish.
Returns cup to Lucy.
No more, thanks. Delicious.
And turns to admire the wide-sweeping view of the farm, hands in pockets. After a pause.
Well, I think our scientists might well be called philanthropists.
Hardly. You see, everyone knows the name of philanthropists. Better let it go at scientists.
He's right. Philanthropists don't give their lives, they give their names. Have 'em carved up in stone over their institutes and libraries.
John approaches and joins his guest.
Charming little farm you have here.
Dr. Hamilton, America kills its big men with routine. You are too valuable to the nation to lose. The trustees think you need a year abroad.
That's strange. I came out here to suggest that very thing. Somebody has been saying kind things about me in Paris. Just had a letter from the great Metchnikoff. Wants me to come over and work in the pasture. Chance of a lifetime. You didn't have to jolly me up to consent to that.
Pacing terrace with his guest arm in arm.
By the by, my sister is rather keen on science.
Best assistant I ever had. You can pile an awful lot of routine on a woman. The female of the species is more faithful than the male. She's over there already. We can get right to work.
She'll be back before you start.
Stops short.
I didn't know that. Well, what is it?
John hesitates, turns to the family, all watching with breathless interest.
Don't you see, old chap, under the circumstances it would hardly do for her to go back to Paris with you.
Why not?
You're a man.
Smiling.
You mean I'm dangerous?
But she's a woman.
They mean she's dangerous?
My dear fellow, we are going to ask you quite frankly to decline to take her.
So that's it, eh?
Looks about at the circle of anxious faces. He won't let them read him.
But it's the chance of a lifetime for her, too. She needs it more than I do. She's had so little chance to do original work.
But she's a woman.
Just what has that to do with it?
Everything. We have the highest respect for you, Dr. Hamilton, but also one must respect the opinions of the world, you know.
That's right.
Thinks it over.
One must. I forgot to think of that. It's curious, but when working with women of ability, one learns to respect them so much that one quite loses the habit of insulting them. Too bad how new conditions spoil fine old customs. Suppose you let her go, and let me stay. I can find plenty to do here, I fancy.
I fear it would offend our generous benefactor, Mr. Baker. He has set his heart on your going abroad, meeting other big men, getting new ideas for our great humanitarian work.
The family exchange glances while John lies on.
Besides, my sister would only go to accommodate you. She particularly desires to stay here this winter. That's why she's returning so soon, you see.
Oh, I see.
Believes it.
I'm sure I have no desire to drag her over with me.
Smiles at himself.
I rather thought the opportunity to continue our experiments together. But that's all right.
Then it's all settled. You agree to go alone?
A slight pause.
Yes, alone. It's quite settled.
How soon could you start?
Absently.
How soon? Why, just as soon as I get someone to run my department.
Could my sister run it?
Could she run it?
Smiles.
It can't run without her. She's as systematic as...
To Lucy.
as a good housekeeper.
With a satisfied look at the others.
Then that's all fixed. She'll stay when I tell her that you want her to. Could you arrange to start at once?
Hesitates.
By leaving here tonight, I could.
With a triumphant look at the family.
Then I'll telephone for your passage. I have a pull with all the steamship lines.
Going.
Of course, I hate to cut short your weekend, but I don't want to spoil any scientific careers.
John hurries in to telephone. Ernest starts too, as if to stop him, but restrains the impulse. He stands alone by the door, gazing out over the landscape, while Lucy, Theodore, and the judge discuss him in low tones by the tea-table.
Can't you see, you stupid men? He's crazy about her, but thinks there's no hope.
When she finds he's leaving for a year, she'll change her mind about marriage.
Ernest comes back to earth and to the house-party. To Ernest, joining them.
We were just discussing the marriage danger. The marriage problem.
With a smile.
Go right on. Don't mind me.
Old friend manner.
See here, when are you ever going to marry?
Modern bachelors laugh.
When am I ever going to get more than $2,000 a year?
Bah! What has money got to do with it? Just you wait till the right one comes along.
Helen comes along, stealing up the steps from the garden on tiptoe with the grave, absorbed look of a hunter stalking game. She catches sight of the man she wants and stops short, as motionless as if frozen. But not so. Her lovely hands were poised, one of them now goes to her bosom and presses there. There is nothing icy about this new woman now. Ernest, as unconscious of danger as a mountain lion on an inaccessible height, smiles easily at his sentimental old friend Theodore.
How do you know the right one hasn't come already?
Theodore catches sight of Helen. She shakes her head in silent pleading, taps a finger on her lips, and in panic flees noiselessly across towards the door. Suppressing a laugh.
Then don't let her go by.
Helen stops at the door and makes a face at Theodore.
Oh.
Affecting indifference.
I couldn't stop her, even if I wanted to.
Turning to wink at Helen.
How do you know? Did you ever ask her?
To marry me? Oh, no. She hasn't any money.
Helen is dumbfounded.
Money? You wouldn't marry for money.
Helen draws near to hear the answer.
You don't suppose I'd marry a woman who hadn't any? Most selfish thing a poor man can do.
Helen is interested.
Oh, fiddlesticks, you modern young people.
Make her a sort of superior servant in an inferior home? Not that girl.
Helen is pleased.
Feministic nonsense. The old-fashioned womanly woman.
Sentimental twaddle. What makes it more womanly to do menial work for men than intellectual work with them?
Helen, delighted, applauds noiselessly.
All the same, I'll bet you wouldn't let a little thing like that stand in your way if you really cared for a woman enough to marry her.
Benign and secure.
But, as it happens, I don't. Nothing could induce me to marry.
Helen raises her chin. Her eyes glitter dangerously.
So are you going to run away to Europe like a coward?
Theodore.
Smiles patronizingly.
You are such an incorrigible idealist. I have nothing to be afraid of. I simply do not care to marry.
That's just what I said.
All turn and behold Helen.
My heavens.
He steps back like a coward.
But I agree with you perfectly.
She holds out her hand to him.
I was so afraid you believed in marriage.
He rushes to her eagerly. As the lovers shake hands.
You wronged him. Apologize.
Why, all this time, I thought you had the usual attitude.
Wronged her. Both apologize.
Why didn't you ever tell me you had such enlightened views?
Why didn't you ever tell me?
Each understands the other now. Everything lovely.
Think of the discussions we might have had.
Not too late yet. Julia and I had discussions for a quarter of a century.
Don't think I had any hand in this. I was going to warn you, but now? It is unnecessary now.
Warn me? What do you mean?
Can't you see? It was all a plot.
Lucy draws near noiselessly.
A plot to entrap you in marriage. They had about given me up as a bad job. You were my last hope. They were going to throw me at your head.
Louder, but without turning.
Weren't you, Lucy, dear?
Caught listening, turns abruptly to the others.
These new women are utterly shameless.
To Ernest.
These old-fashioned women are utterly shameless. After a decent interval, they will all with one accord make excuses to leave us here alone, so that I can—
She comes nearer.
Ensnare you.
Ernest laughs nervously.
Lucy is going to say—
Imitates Lucy's sweet tones.
If you'll excuse me, I always take 40 winks before dressing. Dressing is the hardest work Lucy has to do. Cousin Theodore will find that he must write to his wife, and Uncle Everett will feel a yearning for the billiard-room.
Ernest is nodding and chuckling.
They are hanging on longer than usual to-day, and I simply must have a talk with you.
Our shop talk would scandalize 'em.
Wait, I'll get rid of them.
She sits and begins to make tea.
I've had my tea, thanks.
Stupid, sit down.
Indicates a chair close to hers. He takes it cautiously.
We'll have a little fun with them in a minute.
She is busy now making tea. To Lucy and the judge apart.
You may be right, Uncle Everett, but upon my word it is the strangest courtship I ever witnessed.
They ought to be spanked.
Don't worry, old Mother Nature will attend to that.
Well, I may be old-fashioned, but—
But this is merely a new fashion, my dear Lucy. Nature her ancient custom holds, let science say what it will.
Now,
handing cup to Ernest with a glance at the others.
Then be attentive to me.
He leans toward her rather shyly, abashed by her nearness. She makes eyes at him reproachfully.
Oh, can't you be more attentive than that?
She acts like a coquette, and he looks into her beautiful eyes, and while he is doing so, she says with a fascinating drawl,
Now tell me all about anterior poliomyelitis.
Suddenly taken aback, he laughs.
Nothing doing since you left.
And bends close to explain.
If you'll excuse me, Dr. Hamilton, I always take 40 winks before dressing. We dine at 8.
Going, she signals to the others. Ernest and Helen exchange smiles.
Psst.
Laughing, to Lucy.
Don't tell John what's going on. Keep him busy telephoning.
Lucy nods excitedly and almost runs to obey the church.
Helen, if you and Ernest will excuse me, I really must write to Mary.
Their shoulders are close together, and they seem too absorbed to reply. Theodore smiles down upon them and signals the judge to come along. The judge, however, shakes his head but waves Theodore into the house. Uncle Everett looks at the lovers with quizzical interest. He draws near and eavesdrops shamelessly.
You oughtn't to have dropped the polio experiments.
You oughtn't to have dropped me, right in the midst of the experiments. Those agar plates you were incubating dried up and spoiled. You played the very devil with my data.
God bless my soul! What are we coming to?
Without turning.
It is perfectly proper for your little ears, uncle, only you can't understand a word of it. Won't anyone play billiards with you?
But I'm fascinated. It's so idyllic. Makes me feel young again.
To Ernest.
Oh, you have plenty of men assistants who can estimate antitoxin units.
Men assistants lose interest. They are all so confoundedly ambitious to do original work. Why is it women can stand day after day of monotonous detail better than men?
Because men always made them tend the home.
Ah, nothing like a good old-fashioned love scene, in the scientific spirit.
Uncle, dear, can't you see that he's paying me wonderful compliments? Haven't you any tact? Go and play Canfield in the library.
Very well.
Lighting cigar.
I'll leave you to your own devices, and may God, your God, have mercy on your scientific souls.
With sudden animation and camaraderie, thinking they are alone.
Now I must tell you what Dr. Metchnikoff said about you and your future.
Psst!
Helen and Ernest turn.
My children,
Pause. Raises his hand.
don't forget the scientific spirit.
The judge saunters off into the garden, smoking.
How did you ever meet Metchnikoff?
Chaffing.
I had worked under Hamilton. They all wanted to meet me.
With an unmistakable look.
Was that why?
Fleeing danger.
Didn't you let them know your part in that discovery? Why, if it hadn't been for you, I should never have stumbled upon the thing at all.
Oh, I know my place too well for that. Talk about artistic temperament. You scientists are worse than prima donnas.
Takes printer's proofs out of pocket, hands them to her in silence.
Some proofs of a monograph I was correcting on the train. Mind hammering those loose sentences of mine into decent English? You can write. I can't.
Reading innocently.
Recent experiments in anterior poliomyelitis by Ernest Hamilton, M.D., Ph.D., and Helen... What? Why, you've put my name with yours.
Much excited and delighted.
Well, if you object, like a prima donna...
Takes out pencil to mark on proof.
Object?
Snatching proofs away.
Why, this makes my reputation in the scientific world.
Well, didn't you make mine?
You can't imagine what this means to me.
Still glowing with pride, but touched by his unexpected generosity.
It's so hard for a woman to get any recognition. Most men have but one use for us. If we get interested in anything but them, it is unwomanly. They call it a fad. But they've got to take me seriously now. My name with Ernest Hamilton's.
Points to her name and swaggers back and forth.
But then, you see...
Bantering.
You are a very exceptional woman. Why, you have a mind like a man.
Like a man?
Coming close to him, tempting him.
If you had a mind like a woman, you would know better than to say that to me.
Re-enter Judge from garden. He smiles and glances at them. The lovers keep quiet as he crosses to the door. Then they look at each other and smile. Judge has gone into the house. It is nearly dark. The moon is rising. Raises eyebrows.
They all take for granted that I want to make love to you.
Smiles, but avoids her eyes.
Well,
avoids his.
You took for granted that I wanted you to. You are about the most conceited man I ever knew.
How can I help it, when you admire me so?
I admire you?
You're always telling me what great things I'm going to do, stimulating me, pushing me along. Why, after you left, everything went slump. Tell me, why did you leave? Was I rude to you? Did I hurt your feelings?
Not in the least. It was entirely out of respect for your feelings.
My feelings? Oh, I see. You got it into your head that I wanted to marry you.
Men sometimes do.
Looks away.
I suppose they do.
It's been known to happen.
Talk about conceit. Well, you needn't be afraid. I'll never ask you to marry me.
Turns and looks at him a moment.
You can't imagine what a weight this takes off my mind.
She looks away and sighs. Enthusiastically.
Yes, I feel as if a veil between us had been lifted.
He looks away and sighs too. Someone begins Tristan and Isolde on the piano within. The moon is up. After a pause.
Suppose we talk about our work?
Yes, our work. Let's drop the other subject. Look at the moon.
Music and the moonlight flooding them.
Seriously, you promise never to mention the subject again?
She keeps her eyes averted.
I promise.
He keeps his eyes averted. Turning to him with a sudden change to girlish enthusiasm.
Then I'll go to Paris with you.
Recoils.
What's that?
Why, Dr. Metchnikoff. He promised me he would invite you.
Yes, but...
Don't miss the chance of a lifetime.
No, but you can't come.
Simply.
If you need me, I can, and you just said...
But you mustn't come to Paris with me.
Don't you want me with you?
You are to stay home and run the department for me.
Stepping back.
Don't you want me with you?
Stepping forward with his heart and voice.
Do I want you?
Stops.
But I am a man. You are a woman.
What of it? Are you one of those small men who care what people say? No, that's not your reason.
She sees that it is not.
What is it? You must tell me.
Hesitates.
It's only for your sake.
Think of all I've done for your sake. You wouldn't be going yourself but for me. I was the one to see you needed it. I proposed it to Metchnikoff. I urged him, made him ask you, for your sake. And now am I to be left at home like a child because you don't care to be embarrassed with me?
Oh, please, this is so unfair. But I simply can't take you now.
Oh, you're all alike.
With growing scorn.
You pile work upon me until I nearly drop. You play upon my interest, my sympathy. You get all you can out of me, my youth, my strength, my best. And then, just as I, too, have a chance to arrive in my profession, you, of all men, throw me over. I hate men. I hate you.
And I love you.
They stare at each other in silence, the moonlight flooding Helen's face, the music coming clear.
I've done it. I've done it.
Stepping back slowly.
I knew I'd do it.
No, I did it. Forgive me, I had to do it.
Oh, and this spoils everything.
Comes closer.
No, it glorifies everything.
He breaks loose.
I have loved you from the first day you came and looked up at me for orders. I didn't want you there. I didn't want any woman there. I tried to tire you out with overwork, but couldn't. I tried to drive you out by rudeness, but you stayed. And that made me love you more. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Don't love me.
Why?
Still closer.
I never knew there could be women like you. I thought women were merely something to be wanted and worshipped, petted and patronized. But now, why, I love everything about you. Your wonderful brave eyes that face the naked facts of life and are not ashamed. Those beautiful hands that toiled so long, so well, so close to mine, and not afraid. Not afraid.
You mustn't. I am afraid now. I made you say it.
Smiling and crying.
I have always wanted to make you say it. I have always sworn you shouldn't.
Pained.
Because you cannot care enough?
Enough? Too much.
You love me.
He takes her in his arms, a silent embrace with only the bland blasé moon looking on.
It is because I love you that I didn't want you to say it. Only I did. It is because I love you that I went abroad. To stay, only I couldn't. I couldn't stay away.
She holds his face in her hands.
Oh, do you know how I love you? No, you're only a man.
Kisses her rapturously.
Every day there in the laboratory, when you in your apron, that dear apron which I stole from your locker when you left me, when you asked for orders, did you know that I wanted to say, love me? Every day when you took up your work, did you never guess that I wanted to take you up in my arms?
Smiling up into his face.
Why didn't you?
Thank God I didn't. For while we worked there together, I came to know you as few men ever know the women they desire. Woman can be more than sex, as man is more than sex, and all this makes man and woman not less, but more overwhelmingly desirable and necessary to each other, and makes both things last, not for a few years, but forever.
Sounds of voices approaching from the garden. The lovers separate. It is Jean and Rex, Rex laughing, Jean dodging until caught and kissed.
No, it's time to dress. Be good, Rex, don't.
Without seeing Helen and Ernest, they disappear into the house. Helen is suddenly changed, as if awakened from a spell of enchantment.
What have we done? This is all moonlight and madness. Tomorrow comes the clear light of day.
Ah, but we'll love each other tomorrow.
But we cannot marry, then or any other tomorrow.
Can't? What nonsense!
I have slaved for you all these months.
Shaking her head and restraining him.
Not because I wanted to win you from your work, but to help you in it. And now, after all, shall I destroy you? No, no!
I love you. You love me. Nothing else matters.
Everything else matters. I'm not a little debutante to be persuaded that I am needed because I am wanted. I haven't played with you, I have worked with you, and I know. Think of Theodore, think of Lucy. And now poor little Jean. Marry you? Never.
You mean your career?
My career?
With supreme scorn.
No, yours. Always yours.
With the same scorn and a snap of the fingers.
Then that for my career. I'll go back into private practice and make $1 million.
That's just what I said you'd do. Just what you must not do. Your work is needed by the world.
Wooing.
You are my world, and I need you. But there is no love without marriage, no marriage without money. We can take it or leave it. Can we leave it? No, I can't. You can't. Come.
She steps back slowly.
Why should we sacrifice the best? Come.
So this is what marriage means. Then I cannot marry you, Ernest.
You cannot do without me, Helen.
Holds out his arms.
Come, you have been in my arms once. You and I can never forget that now. We can never go back now. It's all or nothing now. Come.
She is struggling against her passion. He stands still, with arms held out.
I shall not woo you against your will, but you are coming to me, because by all the powers of earth and heaven you are mine, and I am yours. Come.
Like a homing pigeon she darts into his arms with a gasp of joy, a rapturous embrace in silence with the moonlight streaming down upon them. The music has stopped. John, dressed for dinner, strolls out upon the terrace. He stops abruptly upon discovering them. The lovers are too absorbed to be aware of his presence. End of Act 1.